Let's start with a harsh truth. The left has lost a lot of progress in the battle for social justice. This is because our arguments around social justice have become less effective among the average voter. But this is not irreversible, and it's not because they're bad arguments. Let me walk you through it. First, we know the Republican Party is the party of fear. But this is not indiscriminate, random fear. It is a strategic attack on your state of mind based on your hierarchy of needs. Take a look at this. Trump and his right-wing media outlets have attacked these bottom two categories of needs unrelentingly. They say city streets have become too unsafe to walk. RFK says that your food and water are being poisoned. Do you remember when Trump said immigrants were coming to steal black jobs? This line of attack is not an accident. They are strategically attacking your confidence in the most essential areas. Because if they can make you feel like these needs are being threatened, if you begin to fear for your own personal sense of security, you lose your ability to access one thing that is essential for progressive policies: empathy. The cold fact is that if you can convince somebody that they have to choose between their own economic prosperity and somebody else's social prosperity, the majority of people will put their own needs first. And for tens of millions of voters, the right has won that battle for now. So for the left, we're beating our heads against the wall when we're making arguments about social justice, mental health, and identity, when the right is systematically attacking your sense of security in these two areas. Here's the thing: the more successful they are, the less effective arguments about social justice become, because until voters feel secure at those deepest levels, they're going to have a real hard time caring about other people. Now, here's the good news. I can prove to you we don't actually have to choose between social and economic prosperity. Look no further than our own history to see the best thing we can do for marginalized communities is to deliver broad economic justice for everyone. Just look at our own history with civil rights, women's rights, voting rights, and the environment. All of these causes thrived in the United States from the 50s to the 70s. That wasn't a coincidence, because do you know what else thrived in that era? The middle class. FDR established strong economic policies that were funded by sky-high tax rates on the wealthy, and labor unions and Democratic politicians worked together to create a better labor environment than anyone had seen in American history. And just like that, as soon as the average worker's needs were being met, they became more receptive to concerns over the needs of others. Because instead of seeing other people as foreign competition from communities they didn't understand, because we weren't living in a constant state of fight or flight, we were able to hold the time and space with the physiological and the psychological safety to find empathy and understanding for people who came from communities that didn't look like our own. This is why the right-wing billionaire class combines their hostile economic policies with xenophobia and hate. If they're going to come after your prosperity, they have to give you someone to blame at the same time. They have to keep you afraid with one hand so they can rob you blind with the other. They have made so much progress, we're going to have to rebuild our case from the ground up. Now, this does not mean giving up on social issues, and it does not mean throwing marginalized people under the bus. This is about how we prioritize messaging and policy focus. To put it much more simply, the single best thing we can do for the marginalized communities we want to protect and support is to win all Americans back to the left with progressive economic policies, which in turn will lift everyone up equally and allow us to remember that the people from marginalized communities were never a threat in the first place.